Meeting, January 7, 2026, Board of Supervisors meeting to order. If I could, I'd like to ask Mr. Manus to lead us in invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Lord, we come before you today to do the business of the county. Lord, pray that you would bless us and keep us as a county and as a board. I pray that you would help us to work together and work to the good of everybody that lives in Scott County and everybody that lives in this great state and nation of ours. Lord, we pray for our nation, our state, our county, and all those individuals that make it run, the military, the first responders, Lord. And we ask that you would watch over them. We ask this all in your precious name. In the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll go right into roll call. Darrell Jeter, District 1.
Here.
Michelle Glover, District 2.
Here.
Eddie Skeen, District 3.
Here.
Michael Bricky, District 4.
Here.
Danny Castile, District 5.
Here.
Chris Manus, District 6.
Here.
Stephanie Addington, at large.
Here.
We do have a quorum. We have some organizational items to do, but before then, I want to turn it over to Mr. Dingus for a presentation.
David, come on up. At this time, it's one of those bittersweet moments where we have an employee that reaches retirement age, or years, not age, I guess, where they can retire from the county. And David's been with the county 30 years. And it's a tough thing to lose that experience and institutional knowledge. But we want to thank you, and we have a plaque here for you presented to David Gus, as we know him, Dean, in appreciation for your years of service to the Scott County citizens as an employee of the Scott County Transfer Station and Public Works from April the 1st, 1995 to December 31st, 2025. So thank you for your service.
So our first item in our organizational section is to set a term of office for the chairperson and vice chairperson for 2026. Historically, both of those have been one-year terms. So I would, I guess, entertain any discussion or a motion to set the term of office.
I think, given the historical precedent, we should keep it at 1 year. And I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
So Mr. Manus has made the motion, Ms. Glover seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So the term of office for chairperson, vice chairperson has been set for 1 year. Next item is to elect a chairperson for 2026. Are there any nominations?
I'd like to put Chris Manus in for chairperson, please.
Ms. Glover nominates Mr. Manus. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll close nominations for chairperson. All those in favor of Mr. Manus serving as chairperson for 2026 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing no opposed, Mr. Manus has been elected chairperson for 2026. Congratulations. And we'll take a quick break and shuffle around our seats.
All right, we'll get back on the agenda here. Sorry about that. We had to do a little seat arranging. The next order of business is to elect a vice chairperson. I'd like to nominate Michelle Glover for vice chair. Do I hear any other? Hearing none, I'll close nominations, and everyone vote by way of saying aye.
Aye.
Approved. Vice Chair for the year. Welcome back. All right, so next item is set a meeting day and time for 2026. Has Wednesday at 9 o'clock been working out for everybody? Everybody feel okay with that? Be able to make it work with your schedules? Okay. All right. Well, we will continue on the first Wednesday of each month at 9 a.m. I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion.
Stephanie seconds. Do we have, everybody vote by way of saying aye?
Aye.
First Wednesday of every month at 9 a.m. is up. Rules of procedure. Has everybody had a chance to look over those, understand those? Do I have a motion to adopt those rules of procedure as they stand?
So moved.
Mr. Jeter moves to adopt the rules of procedure. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Glover seconds. Everybody vote by way of saying aye.
Aye.
All right, rules of procedure are approved. Moving on. Has everyone had a chance to look at our agenda for today? There's a few things on there. Everybody like how that stands? Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as it stands?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would like to make a comment. I spoke to Mr. Wilson earlier this month about the trash. We got several calls about trash. And he, if there's anybody here that wanted to speak about that today, I think we're going to discuss that during the supervisor's comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great place for those comments.
Okay.
Because it's this time of year, we get a lot of comments about trash. Do we need to remove Mr. Dishman?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would suggest that we remove Mr. Dishman from the PSA under County Department report.
Okay. All
Is
right.
there a reason why?
We'll probably see him in February. It was my understanding. Was that yours as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Once the reports from the health department have been submitted.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Do I hear a motion to remove Mr. Dishman from the agenda for today?
Just approve it as
Oh,
amended.
okay.
Approve as amended.
Yeah. Do I have a motion to approve as
Motion to
amended?
approve as amended.
All right. Ms. Addington makes the motion to approve as amended. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Mr. Jeter has the second on that one. And everybody vote by way of saying aye. The agenda is approved. Has everyone had a chance to look over the minutes from the last meeting? Are there any changes, additions, corrections, or anything like that? All right. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
All right. Ms. Addington moves to approve the minutes. Do I
I'll
have a
second
second?
that.
Mr. Glover seconds. Everybody vote by way of saying aye. Motion carries. Minutes are approved. All right, citizens expression. And if you'll give me just a short second here to grab this. Citizens expression is a point in the meeting where anyone who wishes to address the board may do so. If you wish to speak, please come to the podium and state your name, where you're from in the county, and or what organization that you represent. The board may or may not respond to anything you say, but we will take everything you say into account when making future decisions. Please keep your comments concise and businesslike. That includes language, please. If no one has signed up to speak, we have no particular order. We ask that you take turns and speak your business. Today, we have Christina Hurd has signed up, Megan Smith has signed up, and Kevin has signed up. In that order, we ask that you take turns and speak your business, and please be mindful of the time that we'll have on screen. Any action will be considered after we close citizens' expression. Thank you. With that.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the board, Mr. Wilson and Ms. Haley. My name is Christina Hurd, and I live in District 2. Let me me start by saying that I have written a speech more than 50 times, not knowing exactly what I was going to talk about. I prayed on it, and God told me to speak with my heart, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my thoughts and feelings on how I and many others feel about this board in this county. One word that comes to mind is disappointed. I am disappointed in the leadership in this county. I am disappointed that no one wants to work together. I am disappointed that some of you allow your egos to govern your choices. I am disappointed that certain ones use people like they are political chess pieces, moving and bending them for their purpose. What disappoints me most is that we are failing our future generations. A second kind of thing that comes to mind is left behind. We watch as our neighboring counties receive grants and opportunities that Scott County only wishes we had. We give future generations zero reasons to stay and build a family in this county. The 1950s was the last time that this county peaked. It was the highest our population had been, and we were booming. Then as time passed, we lost businesses, we lost population, we lost revenue, and finally we lost hope. Today, we are a welfare county filled with empty farms and broken promises. We need all of you to work together for all of us. We need fair practices for all residents, tax relief, and a community that comes together for the betterment of ourselves and our future generations. The last thing that comes to mind is division. We have two very intelligent, very powerful, passionate people on this board. Two of you are the most brilliant minds and hearts that I've ever met, yet you are at each other's throats nearly every meeting. Both of you truly want to help this county. I won't call you out by name, but I ask that you two come together through your mutual belief in God and find common ground. If you do this, you will accomplish great things. Stop the fighting, stop the political fight, and trust in God. All 7 of you are supposed to represent every district and not just your allies. To the supervisors who were quiet, stop that. All 7 of you signed up to be on this board and are supposed to speak for us. Well, how can you speak for us when you don't even talk to us? When is the last time any of you held a meeting to talk to your district? We want to see you. We want to be involved. All of you can come together if you would just talk to each other with love instead of anger. You think this isn't possible, but through all things with Christ it is. I started my political journey with 3 of you. I ask that you 3 set the example. To my new sister in Christ, I ask that you extend the olive branch because it's time for peace. Coming together is how we will succeed, how we will prosper. The 7 of you have a big opportunity to be the change that we need. But as long as you just stay divided, we will gain nothing and Satan will win. I didn't come to preach a sermon, but to open your eyes to the fact that we are watching you. We see you. You are our leaders and we look up to you. Most of you will question who I am to speak on this and speak of God. To be honest, I'm probably not worthy enough, but He chose me and He put it on my heart to come before you. So here I am, a baby Christian, following Christ through faith. Before I close, I would like to bring your attention to the fact that our children are becoming very ill at an alarming rate. Scott County has had 12 new cases of childhood cancer within the last 2 years. We know this because Megan Smith has done the research for us. Megan Smith will be speaking after me regarding what the families of these sick children are going through. We are aware that the Virginia Department of Health will be holding a hearing tomorrow regarding the current status of their investigation. We hope that even if their findings are inconclusive, that they will stick around and help these families find answers. Please join us tomorrow in solidarity at 6 p.m. at Gate City Middle School. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Hurd. Next we have Ms. Megan Smith.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Megan Smith. I'm a board certified oncology nurse. I was here in November to bring awareness for the pediatric cancer cases in Scott County. In the last 2.5, 3 years, our number is now at 15. The official one was diagnosed right before Christmas. So we now have 15 children that have been diagnosed with a cancer. I also had a hunch to reach out to the school nurses about autoimmune diseases. Unfortunately, autoimmune diseases are not tracked like cancer cases are. But just the children that are in school since 2022, there have been 40 children at school age diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. Those are not even the children that are not school age, and those are only the cases that the school nurses have been made aware about. That's not including the ones that the parents have not, sent a note or sent a doctor's note or anything like that. My suspicion is that whatever is causing the cancer is also causing autoimmune disorders. And that is a very big deal because although autoimmune disorders are not cancer, they can still be just as detrimental. But the main reason why I'm here today is because I've had several of the family members, the parents in Scott County, to reach out to me about how they are being treated. Their children are sick, and I want you as parents and grandparents to put yourself in these people's shoes. Their children have been sick for months, and they've been requesting answers. They go to their physician, our local physicians, our local hospitals. They're trying to get workups done. They're trying to get answers for their children that they know. The children that have had personality changes due to pain that goes unanswered, pain that doctors in the pediatric ERs in Johnson City make these children question. These parents have been told that they are going to be documented as Munchausen by proxy by ER physicians in the pediatric hospital. And these are very sick children. These parents send me their results, their lab work, their scans. There is something wrong with these children, but yet the physicians in our local pediatric ERs do not. They've even actually been told, one parent was actually told, you Scott County people are overreaching. You're looking for something that isn't there. That is the biggest slap in the face, knowing that there is an investigation by the BEH going on right now. Whether the results are inconclusive, whether they stick around or not, something is happening in this county. And these are what the parents are going through. And I just wanted to bring that to you all, to your all's attention. So you can use your voices to speak up for the parents and the children that are still being worked up. The children are having to go outside the region. They're having to go to Knoxville. They're having to go to Cincinnati. They're having to go to Nashville, even on to Memphis to get answers. There are a few physicians, a few pediatrics, or a few pediatricians in our area. They are phenomenal. I've been in contact with them. They are very concerned about what's going on in this area. And they are fighting as they can, but they can only do so much. So I ask you all to take that into consideration if you can use your voice in any way to try to do anything that you can. Because these children are getting sick at such an alarming rate. And honestly, it's terrifying. And I just want you to place yourself in these people's shoes, these parents' shoes, when they're being looked in the face and being told that there's nothing wrong with their child, and they know their child better than anyone. That concludes my speech. And if you all have any questions, thank you.
Do you plan on being at the
Tomorrow?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I was just making sure.
I'll absolutely be there.
And for everyone else, again, that is Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. They're going to be there to answer questions and kind of walk you through their process and everything. So we tried to make sure that that is top of mind.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mr. Kevin Barnett.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Kevin Barnett, and this is my partner, Michael Egan. We both reside here in the town of Gate City. We're here this morning to talk about our firewood ministry that we've got going. Before I mention anything about that, I'd like to say that, the issue you're addressing is very serious, and I think that it needs to continue to be looked into. And with the stuff that's going on, it is scary right now. And everybody needs to be praying about that for those families, because it's just I can imagine that it's devastating for those. But we can't do anything about that. We pray that those who can do. We're here to talk about the firewood dispensary. And I presented you guys with some information here just to let you know what we've been doing. The first page I've got, we were mentioned in the Kingsport Times News on 9/11/2025 for the firewood that we've been working on, just to get the information out there in the community. That's what's on the first page. The second page that I've got presented to everyone is we're in the Kingsport Times News again on the 28th of November, again talking about help. We started to receive people coming that were interested and want to participate. They were wanting us to collect wood and get material in the community. We've had people that asked us to come and collect their wood, and that's really working well for us. Then the third page is VML's Virginia Town and City Magazine. They did an article on us and the work that we're doing in the community. And the reason I mention these things is just to let you know that we're not doing this just to promote ourselves or to get a paycheck or do any of that kind of stuff. This is a ministry that we're wanting to see move forward. And we're serious about doing that. We're serious about getting something done. Michael and me have been working hard to get all the families met. And I want you all to know that we're up to 43 families so far that have needed heating wood and stuff provided. 2 of those were directed to us by the DSS, and one of those is still pending delivery. We had a little bit of equipment issue during the cold weather, but we got that took care of and we're back on track. We've also partnered with the Red Cross. Michael is certified to install smoke detectors for these families to make sure that the home is as safe as possible. We're working on getting chimney inspectors to come out and that sort of thing to make sure this is working. Our biggest need for us right now is going to be a way to get the material the quickest. We are managing to get it processed, but with the amount of families that we're dealing with, we're starting to run out of processed material that we're getting. The town, donated 35 trees, I think it was, from the Grove Park down here. We've been working to try to get that done, but it's such a hassle to go in, cut it up, load it, take it up to the site, unload it all by hand, and process it up. We really need a dump trailer, guys. I mean, it would really help us a lot to get the material and process it up, and that works 2 ways. It gives us the ability to handle more material and to save time. And time is a big issue for us. We both work in other things and stuff, but we are managing to get people together, working on the weekends. We're getting the material processed. And we looked in the community, the wood that we have provided for these families, if they were to have to pay for it, you're looking at about a little over $3,000 that we managed to save them so far. Included in your packet, I have a list of 3 different dump trailers, just so you guys get an idea of what there is, the cheapest first and the most expensive on the last end. Those would work with the trucks that we have now. We'd be able to go in, process the material, load it, take it back to site, dump it, go back and get more. That way we can increase our volume and meet the need. Our goal this year was going to be around 50 families, and we're almost there. And I am certain that when next year rolls around, we'll probably double that. With the increases that AP's doing and the cost of living and food expense, families are struggling. And we're just trying to help alleviate that stress as much as we can in these families. We need to take care of our people. I mean, that's pure and simple. The Bible teaches us that if we're able to do for someone who is less fortunate than us or someone who's struggling, we're required to do that. And that's what we're trying to do. If you guys could see fit to help us with that expense, we're operating on a shoestring. We're doing the best we can, but we do need some assistance. If you all could help us with that, we would greatly appreciate it. That's all we got to discuss this morning.
Is this available to everyone in the county?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. At no expense.
How do people get on the list?
They can call us or come by the facility. I've got a form that they'll sign. They agree to our terms. The material that we give them is not to be sold. They either use it for themselves or they can pass it on to another family who needs it. That's fine. If they can't do that, they can even return it to us and we'll come pick it up. Just as long as the material gets used for what it's intended. Any other questions?
Do you all have a public number that you'd like to share? Because this goes out on broadcast and
they can reach us in a couple of different ways. One of them would be they can call the Ministry Center, and the number is 276-386-9400. They can reach us on the cell phone for the Ministry Center, which is 276-594-7679. Or they can reach me on my cell phone, which is 276-594-8105. You can text as well.
just want to make sure we got that out there. And we'll look at this. Have any of the other localities given anything towards a dump trailer or anything like that?
At this time, we're spending all of our other resources on fuel and that sort of thing, because it does take a lot of fuel to deliver and then to process and stuff. So we're covering all of that expense. It's just getting that little leg up so that we can meet the need that's coming. That's what we're trying to do. It's a struggle, guys, but we're willing to do it. As long as we're able to shoulder that burden, we're going to.
I've seen you all out there working for you. We appreciate what you're doing for those in our community.
Thank you very much. Anything else?
All right, I'll open it up to people that were, Ms. Bowers?
I don't know if Ms. Tice is here. She may want to speak first. You can go ahead. They're usually pretty quick.
Good morning. Peggy Tice from Snowflake Road. And God bless these children and these families. And I hate to sound like a broken record on dirt roads, but, and when you all go to Richmond, I hope and pray that you all can get Mr. Kilgore to allot more money for dirt roads in Scott County and bring them the miles down that's on dirt roads down in Scott County. I hate that Scott County's got the most dirt roads in the state of Virginia. And then another thing, I don't want to get ugly, but you know, when we drive by these here side roads that's being repaved, it just kind of, I think, where's that funding come from whenever we can't get Snowflake Road? So, but now, I will have to say, and I have to thank VDOT for fixing those big ponds on Snowflake Road. They did a good job on that. And like I say, want to, when y'all go to Richmond, stay after Terry Kilgore to get us some more money allotted for dirt roads. And hope and pray that we can get it in the new year, then y'all have a happy new year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
My name is Bobby Powers. I'm a resident of Dungannon and a banking professional. I'm here today to offer a professional perspective on the county's 2024 audit findings and the impact of our fiscal future. I have reviewed the material weaknesses in the report and must highlight 3 specific risks. First finding, the auditor had to propose adjustments to the financial statements. In banking, we distinguish between advice and adjustments. When an auditor has to fix the books for you, it means your internal systems are failing. The auditor warns there is a reasonable possibility that a material misstatement will not be prevented. This is a fundamental risk to the integrity of our data. Second finding was regarding the bank reconciliation. The county has not completed timely reconciliation since July 2023. Reconciliation is the only way to prove the ledger matches the bank. Without it, your financial statements are essentially guesswork. The third finding was regarding Head Start. The audit identifies approximately $2.2 million in expenditures that were not included in the fiscal year budget. The department reportedly believed they were exempt from these requirements. As a financial professional, this is staggering. To claim that our county budget is under control while a multi-million-dollar department is not even reflected in the budget documents is like claiming the kitchen is clean while the rest of the house is on fire. You cannot claim fiscal health when millions in expenditures bypass the oversight required by Virginia Code subsection 15.2-2506. The path forward requires a level of accountability we haven't yet seen. I'm particularly concerned about our future revenue. There is a bill being introduced to allow citizens to exclude one vehicle from personal property tax. While that relief is needed, it will create a massive hole in the county's budget. How do you plan to recuperate those lost funds if this bill passes? We can no longer afford to let our economic development authority remain dormant. We need an EDA board that is held responsible for bringing in new businesses to expand our tax base. We cannot balance the books on a shrinking revenue pool while our internal controls are in shambles. I recognize the software and staffing challenges. However, if I'm not mistaken, was it not in the board's own November update that established a deadline of this coming Monday, January 12th, for the finalization of cash reconciliations? I look forward to seeing those accounts fully reconciled as promised. Meeting these milestones is the only way to restore our fiscal health and protect the county from fines, legal penalties, and the potential downgrading of our bond rating. A downgrading credit rating is a permanent stain that makes every future project more expensive for the taxpayers. I trust this board understands that trying is no longer a sufficient substitute for balancing. Thank you.
Ms. Balance, I know normally you need to leave, but we'll be discussing this at the end of the sessions. I've made some notes on this.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else for public expression?
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. I'm Darrell Darty. I live on the other end. Snow's making hay on one end. I live on the other end. But I'm here. I drive a school bus. I asked y'all to make a tour on that road. I ain't never got no phone call yet. I can't wait another 50 years for a phone call, and I got my road fixed. But anyway, if we can, we'll get it worked out if we can, if we possibly can. This 6-year plan is good, but I can't wait 30, 50 years to get my road fixed. But I'm proud of it. You're doing the best you can do, what you can do with it. But we do need more money, and the 6-year plan needs bad. We need roads bad here in Scott County. Fixed, so our young kids can stay here. You know, and it's good that you can do what you can do. And I got a bus one evening, had a rock slide on that road. Lucky, Eli didn't ride the bus that day. He had practice ball. And Connor boys had driver's license, they never drove, so I come through there by myself. That rock slide, I hesitated and waited, studied, and I got the bus through there. I shouldn't tell this, but if the bus went over the cliff, I'd got fired, I guess. But anyway, we got through there, it's okay, but the road needs to be fixed. More roads need to be fixed. Scott County Road does need to be fixed. Get our young kids come back in, you want revenue, you get kids coming here to live, you'll get revenue. There's no doubt about that. And Stone Lake Road ain't the only road. There's more roads, a lot of roads. But I still get waiting for that phone call. I appreciate if we can get together and do it and go one day, whenever y'all can, 9 to 2, my time, because I drive bus in the morning, drive bus in the evening. It's just you all to give me a call, but I'm not going to ask them over. But I appreciate your time, and I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murray.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Myron Fields. I'm from Cove Creek, Stanley Town. And I think you're aware of the problem. And I just wanted to update. Last meeting, you said you were going to write letters about it, and if you'd had any response or anything to the letters.
Letters have been sent, but no responses from them.
So, where are we at now?
Well, we want to wait till old business, I'll talk about it. But I don't want to eat up your time. If you want to speak, I'll answer we can cover it in old business. I've got it first thing
We do
on the
have an item
agenda.
on the agenda for it.
You want me to wait till old business?
If you wouldn't mind, you'll get a better update that way, because we have a few more for public comment. If you don't mind.
No problem.
I'm sorry.
We can go through it.
He's got some good ideas. For some additional. Sheriff, I believe you were wanting to come on.
Yes, I won't take up a whole lot of time. I think it was last month we had some issues with some cars that had been wrecked, and I'm here to ask, we had one that we didn't know if it was going to be totaled or fixable. The insurance company, Vacor, gave us the option to fix this vehicle, or they take it. They was going to pay $18,223 for that loss on that vehicle. We had a mechanic look at the vehicle at a body shop about fixing the vehicle, what it would cost. We chose to keep the vehicle and fix it, which cost $3,000. And we still had, they had a $500 deductible, and the buyback was $4,017. Left over out of that was $13,606, and I'm here to ask that maybe we do sort of what we done last time, is use this money to purchase another vehicle, and that would get us, and since we fixed the other vehicle and get this one, this will have us in good shape for this year.
Can you remind us again how much the vehicles you're looking at cost?
The vehicle, last time was 43,000, somewhere right there. And when they upfit this, leftover money out of the insurance company would more likely pay for the upfit of it.
And then the leftover would pay for the upfit. So that 43,000 did not include the upfit, right?
Do what?
The 43,000 did not include the upfit, is that correct?
No.
Okay. I was just making sure I understand.
That's just the vehicle price.
So you're asking for 43,000 for a new vehicle?
Yes, whatever I can't get the exact number. Last time we checked, they didn't have any in stock at that point, so. I don't think they've gone up any, but.
Mr. Wilson, do we have anywhere that we can arrange?
If the board would choose to purchase the vehicle, I'd recommend that it come out of the regional jail.
Regional jail. How much do we have left in that?
I don't know right offhand. We had a number.
Ask the hard questions.
So we recall the number, I believe, last board meeting was, just a second here.
I think we had about 140.
140,506. So then minus, Ms. Vickers, you not remember what the vehicle or
It could have been the
sheriff-
43, and then I think the upfit was at 12. Does that sound right? The 12,000, was that the?
It was close, that was, it.
For Brooks.
It took about the same, what we had left over, or what they sent us. It was close, I don't have the numbers, and JC had all that, and he retired, so we're still.
So we're probably around the 80,000-ish range.
How does the rest of the board feel about this, knowing, how much we've got left in that refund from the regional jail, and how much that costs, and what the sheriff's department already has on hand to pay for some of that?
The grant money you got, can it be used in this jail?
No, it's specific for certain items, for, it exclude that and several other things we can.
That's just like to exclude the most used items.
Yeah, most of it is for investigative type stuff, which we've done well with it, and we're getting new body cameras through a grant. And we've done really well with the grant funding for us that we've applied for. We got a really great grant writer. She does a great job. So.
Any opinions or motions or anything? Y'all need a minute to think about it?
We could do it.
You wanna?
We'll see if there's anybody else for citizens expression.
Okay. Anyone? Sorry, is there anything else that you want to go through?
Any other questions? Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for citizens expression? Or do we want to have that discussion right now? Is that all right? So with $80,000 left, 43 for a new vehicle.
That would be about 20 out of the jail fund after he applies what he's getting back.
It would be the full
price.
Full price of the vehicle, and then it would pay for the upfit. Is that correct? With the money that
the
they
money
get
left
back?
over should basically almost take care of it.
So that would be a little more than half of what's left over.
Leaves about 37.
Do we have anything else that any other big items that you all know of that are coming up? That anyone may be asking the board for?
I don't know of anything right now, especially that would come out of the regional jail monies, but, you know, we are just in January.
Yeah.
Right.
We got 6 more months of budget left. Is this would this be replacing a vehicle that you all have out on the road?
We have a couple that's getting high mileage and a lot of maintenance. We had one that just spent $700 some on yesterday. About 123,000, and when they get up to that, they start costing more money than, you know, I wouldn't want to keep paying out on, but more than the vehicle's worth. It replacing, yes and no, because we bought the other one back to put it back on the road, which it's back on the road now. But there's 2 or 3 others we won't have to pick and choose which ones we want to keep on the road and replace it, but hopefully with another new one. So we don't. Our spares, we're getting these spare vehicles is getting a lot of 170,000, 80,000 miles on them, and we have to start fixing them. But just a lot of money, in my opinion, is being wasted trying to fix these older ones to keep them going. New tires, you know, that's several $100 for new tires if they need them. But we just need to replace, get on a regular order of replacing some of these higher mileage vehicles.
Are you able to utilize the school bus garage for minor maintenance?
Yeah, they do oil changes, brakes, the ones that they could work in their schedule with the buses and all that. Yeah, we do quite a bit. The regular maintenance, yes.
Mr. Eads, how many miles did you say that you usually run your cars before you retire?
It'll vary. You know, we'll take one out of service if it's, say, an engine goes bad. We try to just don't spend that money on it because it's not worth it. We had a pickup truck, a Dodge that had somewhere around, I can't remember, 80, 90,000 miles on it. And the engine, we had to have a re-engine, and that was $10,000 just to replace it. But it was still a good vehicle, but that's still a lot of money to put in it. And I think the Dodges had these problems off and on with that engine. But things like that, I mean, that's just sort of a rare one for the engine, but don't get that mileage.
The vehicle that got wrecked there, you said y'all bought it back, right?
Yes.
Y'all gonna fix it, right?
It's already fixed.
Already fixed.
Yeah.
You say it's $3,000.
It was $4,170. No, let's see. We bought it back for $41,017. Had it fixed for $3,000.
Yeah.
So that's $7,000.
I thought that's what I took. The way I take it, $3,000 to fix it.
Yeah.
I know 2 months ago that, what did you get, two cars in? How's it going?
We got one that was totaled last time I came. Yeah. I believe it was last time. That we and we had a transport vehicle before that, I think it was, when we had, I believe that's correct, transport before this one. We haven't got the one we asked for, we haven't got it in yet. It'll be probably 6 or 8 weeks before we get it, if we're lucky.
Yeah, it takes a while to get those in.
Do you think some of the vehicles could make more miles instead of somewhere between 80 and 90? You think they'd ever get up to 100, 120?
Yeah, most of them will end up over 100,000, you know, some of them, it just depends. We got, all of them right now is, we looked at it yesterday, the day before, that we have very few under 80,000 right now. And that's some of the newer ones. We got 3 new ones on grants last year, the year before. I think we got it the year before, but we didn't get them last year. But, and we do apply for grants. I guess you've all seen the grants we have gotten. Vehicles is a very rare one to get. We look and utilize, you know, we try to save all the money we can by doing the things we get ourselves and do something that saves the county money.
Any thoughts? Any motions?
I'll make a motion, we buy the vehicles.
I'll second that.
Mr. Junior makes a motion to purchase the vehicle. Mr. Bricky seconds. All in favor, vote by way of saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
That'd be out of the regional jail.
Out of the regional jail. Okay. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, before we get into old business, I'm going to have a 15-minute, or well, let's make it a 10-minute recess till 10 o'clock, so everybody has nice. All right, we'll go ahead and get back into order here. And we don't have any public hearings, so we'll move into old business.
Mr. Chairman, if we want to address anything from public expression.
The one thing I would like to address is Mr. Barnett's request for a training, but I'd like to move that to supervisor's comment just so we can have a bigger discussion about that. Okay. Is that all right?
And I did have something from Ms. Powers.
Okay.
If you'd like me to go over that now.
Let's wait till supervisor comment as well. Moving on to old business, Cove Creek. I know Myron wants to get in on this. Mr. Wilson, Bill.
Yes, I'll address just real quick that what Mr. Fields had brought up during public expression. We have sent, per board direction from last meeting, sent letters to Army Corps of Engineers, Congressman Griffith's office, Delegate Kilgore, Senator Pillion, and the governor's office. I have not heard back from any of those yet, but I'll follow up this week. I may see some of those folks this week. So, also, I wanted to bring up to the board's attention that we did get awarded. I know we had talked at previous meetings about NRCS, that we had been in discussions with them on several different projects. And let's see if I can hide that. Zoom in. I have to do some sliding. So there were several areas, and they did get some of these stream names wrong. Cove Creek, Big Moccasin, that's not correct. But this, for the purpose of what Mr. Fields has been talking about, this Scott 3 project was one that they had originally said was not eligible for funding. And Mr. Dingus and I talked to them in length, a couple different meetings, got them to review that again. and they did add that in and award it. The thing with this is this would be federal funding, and there would be a match, local match from the county on any of these projects. But these are the estimates here for the different projects. You can see that this particular project, their estimate is the $833,333.33 for total construction estimate. The county would be responsible for 80% of the construction. They also give us for engineering, I don't think that's broke down per project here. But let's see here. Technical services for all the projects, we would be awarded the 109.94.89. That's 10% basically for engineering cost. That would put the county on the hook for the 90% on engineering cost. And then of course, like I said, 20% of construction cost.
So we're responsible for 20% of construction cost.
20% of construction, 90% of engineering. Environmental reviews, what have you, whatever we come up.
And where was that engineering cost again? I'm sorry.
So what they would give us for technical services here is that $109,094.89. That's total for all the projects listed here. And then, anything above that would be the county's cost. Now, we have been checking with VDM and maybe some other state sources to help with this match. We can match the federal funds with the state funds, but this program through NRCS focuses on repair or restoration, whereas most of all the state funds are for mitigation. And while they're very close to each other, basically do a lot of similar work, they don't necessarily match up for funding. So this is all reimbursable money. This would be money if I were to sign the agreement this week, it's due at the end of this week. They would put all this into, basically hold it into an account for us, and then we'd be able to draw down on that with receipts if we were to approve any of these projects to move forward, is how that would work. Any monies that aren't submitted for reimbursement would just go back to the federal government and then be reallocated for other localities projects. So, but this gives you an idea, I guess, on at least their engineers' estimates on cost on these projects. You can see there were other projects too, but that Scott 3 was the one that we really highlighted and fought for to get added. But it would be still quite a cost to the county.
So the total cost that we would be on the hook for is the $272,737. Am I reading that correctly?
Correct, for construction. And then there would be
engineering costs.
Yeah, which we don't know what that would be. Interesting. That would be for all the projects.
And if we went ahead and submitted an application for this and got the award, it would just sit in an account.
Correct.
So we're not obligated to, we would not be obligating ourselves to spend all of that.
That's correct. Okay. So it has already been awarded.
Okay.
I just need to send the paperwork in to get it into an account.
Okay. I was just making sure that we're not tying ourselves up financially.
No. Right.
When do you think that maybe you could get this money and when this might happen?
If the board, so I guess it's twofold. So we accept the award, right, and we get the money put into an account. But then, we would need a board action to actually start the project. Because then at that point, the county would be on the hook for spending some money to do these.
Now, how could the county be responsible when the creek is controlled by FEMA?
The Army Corps?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's,
because they're the ones tell you if you can get in the creek, can't get in the creek. I guess the state tells you if you can fish, you can't fish.
well, they would need to, any work that would be done in the creek would take permits. So,
Right.
yes, they would have to issue the permits.
I think what Mr. Castell's point is, you know, they control most of it, so
They do.
why aren't they paying for more than 80%?
Right. Well, I would agree with you.
Because that's, I know years ago they did, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that was after the worst flood we've ever had. Right, it was after.
On the Army Corps side of things, I know Mr. Fields had spoken with Army Corps of Engineers. I've tried, I've sent obviously the letter. I called the Nashville office and Abingdon office several times and left messages, but I haven't actually got to talk to anybody yet. I'll keep trying, but I know, Mr. Fields, you wanted to say anything on that.
I've been trying to get in contact with them too, and no response from them, so I don't have any idea what's going on from their standpoint.
I know myself and Mr. Dingus went, and Mr. Fields was kind enough to show us around, and there are definitely areas of concern. There's no doubt. You know, with the strong rainfall and flood, there could be issues. There's no doubt about it.
Mr. Fields, you had mentioned an alternate plan about getting rock out of the stream for commercial purposes. Do you want to go over that?
Well, there's a gentleman has a stone business in Duffield. He sells landscaping stone. And he was talked about, he'd like to expand into the creek rock landscaping business. And if we could get a permit to allow him to get in the creek, he would clean the creek channel out for us for the rock. Which, if we can just get the permit, it looks like it will be a win-win situation because it wouldn't cost the county anything and he could make money from getting the rock out. And it looked like it would benefit everybody if we could just get the permits.
Also, he's gonna kind of fix the banks back to keep it from washing and all of that, is that right, Mr.?
Yes.
Yeah, and that would be best case scenario. We just need to get Army Corps to issue permits.
Is there anything that we can do as a county to help that permit process along?
Well, letter's been sent to them, and
Calls
I'll
been
continue to
made,
follow up.
emails sent.
Right, everything. So I was telling Mr. Fields too that you know, I'm not past trying to go to the office, but I got to figure out where the office is. So, you know, there's certainly the Abingdon office, which I think is out of the Norfolk district, and then there's also the Nashville district. So figure out we're kind of right on those lines.
What's your deadline on this application?
Well, so to accept the award and to get the funds into this holding account, I would need to send the paperwork in. I believe it's the end of this week, so Friday. And then, you know, it can sit there. Do you remember what they told us on, like, they said they're pretty loose on the deadline on spending the funds.
I can't remember, it was a couple of years maybe.
But the board would need to approve then, you know, to start any of this.
Would we need to approve anything for Friday deadline?
It wouldn't hurt probably to have a board.
Do you have any idea when the individual that's interested would want to apply for a permit?
As soon as possible.
It's been a dry winter, we probably won't get in there.
Good time.
Yeah, it is.
I think if we approved setting the money aside, then seek the permit from the individual. Now, if that doesn't go, then consider this at right.
Yeah.
And I'll continue to try to find matching funds, wherever that may be. And then well, let's do this and then, I was just gonna say, Mr. Bricky had reached out, to VDM about some debris removal too in Cove Creek. And, I'll follow up with them and see, there may be something that they can do to help us out with that area. Cause there is a lot of that as well up and down through there.
Yeah, where the definitions, like you said, are so close, I feel like we could probably, they would probably move either way on that, just as they did for getting this in its plan.
Right, I'd certainly like, you know, I don't know if VDM probably was out there at one point, but I'd like to at least talk to them again about this, and especially since we've gotten the award through NRCS now. We didn't have this from last time we spoke with them, so.
Which one of y'all, Bill and you, Mr. Manis, was up there looking at the creek?
It wasn't me, I think it
I
was.
was.
Josh,
Mr.
I
Davis.
heard when he was saying, did y'all go on up through there towards Jervis Chapel?
We did.
Up the creek?
Yeah,
What,
I took them up there.
okay. What did y'all have a reply on that?
That's Dry Creek.
Yeah, it's Dry Creek. And it's dry still.
Yeah.
But it's got trees all in it.
Yes, they're right. And that's part of what the email to VDM was asking for was debris removal all up and down through there, the separate different creeks.
Instead of vegetation.
Correct.
Well, I mean, stuff like that, when that heavy rain comes out of the mountain, that's what uproots them trees and stops up tile. I have got pictures, I guess y'all seen the tile up through there.
You want Mr. Jennings to come up and talk about that?
We went up to his
Up Dry
bridge.
Creek there.
Junior?
And, I mean, them trees needs to be cut too, cause it's gonna stop bridges up on down through there. And I think that's some of what happened at Foot Begley.
Down Junior Jennings, I live on Dry Creek,
Thank you all.
Yeah.
and we got all kinds of trees, all kinds of stuff growing in the creek. Danny, well, Bill, he looked up, and you all come up there and looked at it the other day, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it definitely needs to be cleaned up there. There's no doubt about it.
Have you had y'all had any chance to talk to him? I know holidays has messed everything up.
No, I mean, like I said, we follow up with VDM. I think that's our best bet. They do that quite often, come in and clean out creek banks and stuff with debris and like that, so. But I'm, like you said, holidays and everything, there wasn't too many people working at any of these levels.
Well, I was gonna call you and I thought, no need it. If you call them holidays and they forget it before the first of the year, so,
Yeah.
so I didn't do it. To jog anybody's memory or anything.
And I appreciate anything y'all can do for it.
Absolutely.
If it's gonna wipe me out, it comes another flood.
You know, your bridge is gone.
It's gone, that's right. And not only that, then we're up Cove Creek, y'all gonna go in on them tile there, it's gonna cut the road through there. If it makes that bridge right below me.
Right. Oh, I've looked at it
Yeah.
more, a couple times since me and you was out
Yeah.
there. Of course, I just have to be honest.
And right there next to the road, creek is about level of the road,
Yeah, Cove Creek, out there, it needs to be cleaned, and Stony Creek too, and I'm sure you probably go up a back valley up there, at Dungannon, you'll see that needs cleaning too. I mean, anything always needs maintenance, and I guess it's been years and years and years.
It's been a long time.
I remember whatever, one of them floods come, Pete McNew and some of them guys, they hard them, but they just cleaned under the bridges. They did not clean the creek like everybody says they did.
Yeah.
Cause I was fooled with Third Pete's one day from where he lives on Stony Creek. And And I know they worked several of them for 2 or 3 weeks.
But it does make something done today.
Mr. Chairman, I'm ready to make a
Thank you.
request to not, for this, if discussions have been completed. Are we ready
to make a motion?
Make a motion, yes. Is there any other discussion or?
But just to the motion's effect, you know, I would hope that we would grab the funds. What is the limit, time limit on using the funds? So say, you know, if we couldn't find the full 272 in a budget or grants this year, could we do it next year?
Was it 1 year?
I can't remember exactly what that is.
They were very loose about it. They said, you know, if we start getting towards the deadline, to ask for an extension, more than likely they'll grant it.
Okay. That was going to be my main concern, if we could split it up across a couple of years. From a financial point of view, that would, you know, help the county and help us make this project a lot more viable.
And one thing to remember, this is an estimate, and they're assuming that you're getting a contractor and paying a contractor to do this work. If a contractor is available that could do it for the rock, that estimate may go way down, and our part may go way down. Hopefully that can work out, but you're dealing with federal money and federal rules.
And they did say too that even if we decide to move forward and start the process to do the engineering and whatnot, and something just goes awry and we don't follow through with actually doing the project, we can still recoup those costs, some of those at least out of the monies. So it's
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we locked in the funds as identified here, with the future final approval at some point within a year or so, whatever that might be. But in the meantime, try to pursue the independent private route. So this just locks in the safety net of having the funds available.
Yeah, I'll second that. Everybody vote by way of saying aye. Opposed? All right, we'll get the funds, and now we'll just have to figure out how we're going to do it.
I will say they were very good to work with.
They seem
through
like
the process.
It seems like it.
Willing to listen.
That's good.
To our concerns. So.
You know, it's hard to find an agency that's willing to listen to the people and the county and matters like this, especially where it counts. So I'm glad they're willing to work with us. All right, next up is Keith Park.
Yes, so as I put in my memo, hopefully everybody had seen, we did have the first of the year here, we did have a switch over as far as who was taking over bookings and stuff for the cabin or the amphitheater, anything there at Keith Park. The NARA and the Seniors Club with Larry Vickers and some other folks have been doing that for years and done a great job doing that. Rebecca Devine is taking that over now. She's also part of the Nicholsville Planning Commission, and I believe she'll do a fantastic job moving that park forward. Mr. Skeen and I had spoke, and he had suggested that we maybe do something to recognize the efforts from Mr. Vickers and the NARA and the Seniors Club and everybody that had a hand in that park through the years. So.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to recognize that.
Okay. And we could do, you know, if board so chooses, we could do a plaque or something that maybe would stay up at the cabin, be displayed. Maybe do that February meeting.
Okay.
Folks can show up.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically everything above ground, the acquisition was made by the county for the property, but everything else is basically volunteer and donations.
Yeah, I've been up there a few
quite
times.
Remarkable.
It's really well run, really well kept too. It was nice. Agreed. Do we need an official motion for that, or is it just enough to have consensus on that?
We could probably just do consensus.
Okay.
I'll have that ready for next month's meeting.
All right. Pediatric cancer cases.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot on this. I think we had touched on it before. I would encourage everybody to show up tomorrow night at Gate City Middle School at 6 o'clock. If you're not able to be there in person, there is a virtual link, which I thought I had to share on the screen. I didn't find a good way to do that, but if anybody's interested, reach out to the office here and get you hooked up with that.
I think Megan can do a good job of getting that out to people.
Right.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Very important. Sounds like they're going to have really good information for everybody and explain kind of what they've been doing.
And I will say, we had a meeting with them earlier this week, and one comment I think that I can share from the meeting, and I can't remember who said it, but they said this was the largest interagency cooperation that they've ever seen while they've been working at one of these agencies, and that everyone has been involved, from DEQ to water to Virginia Department of Health, everyone. So it's really great that they've all been invested and mobilized on this, and we really thank Megan for continuing to bring this up and get people moving on.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing how many people are on the call between doctors and different specialists with every part of the body or types of cancer that there is. They certainly have quite the team assembled. So
yeah, environmental specialists and everything. So hopefully that all comes through in the meeting tomorrow. So yeah. We've got them moving. We just gotta keep on. I think that's the thing. All right, moving on to new business. Ballard, VP of Research, Quincy Birdsong, he came up during the break and said that he had been overbooked and had to leave, so he is gone. Ballard Corporate Director of Academics, Leanne Williams, I don't believe
she was able to make it either. I'll follow up with both of those folks, and hopefully they can come back in February.
I believe they had reached out to us about this too, right? There was a meeting of them.
Correct. They had reached out. I think Mr. Birdsong was going to present on some potential research that Ballard has been working on, and then of course Miss Williams was just talking about some of on the educational pieces that they're doing, working with students and stuff. So
education, as in education for occupation or education of disease and things like that?
That I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, all right. That is two very different things.
Correct.
All right.
Yes.
Bristol Transportation District Regional Improvement Commission.
Yes. So if I can get Mr. Dingus to pull up a little slide there on the screen. So as you know, I serve on this commission along with the other representatives from localities in Southwest Virginia, and we've been blessed with equal split and contribution through the years here of the gaming tax, and with this our portion from this year being 900 and I don't have the exact number. It's just over 900,000 is what we got from the casino. And it came up I guess it's been a couple months ago. We've had a lot of meetings with the commission speaking on this. The city of Bristol approached the commission about changing the split, with them getting a bigger portion, basically a host fee, with it being in Bristol city limits. They have cited some financial struggles in part to their landfill issue, Also, their increased expenses with the casino being in city limits as part of their ask. They had originally come to the commission asking for half, so 50% of the monies right off the top, and then everybody else split the other 50%. After, like I said, long meetings, this was finally the proposal that it worked down to as being what the city of Bristol, basically their minimum ask. This is their last, I guess, effort to get any movement on this. So the commission voted to basically take it out of the commission, bring this proposal to the individual boards of the localities, and get your all's opinion on this, since this is quite the big deal for everybody. So this scenario would have basically add 4 more portions to, so there's 14 localities now that's split evenly. This would add 4 more, with Bristol getting 5 of those portions. So you can see there the 25, or well, the current split, what that would look like, or what it would have looked like if it would have been in place this year. So instead of the 900 some odd dollars that we did get, we would have only gotten 732, 558. You can see what that would do next fiscal year, 27, the estimate. And then that last column is just what the city of Bristol perceives as being a possible plateau. So, eventually the gaming tax would reach 20 million, and that would be split then out, but that's just estimates. So, I guess I'm here to see what this board thinks of this option, if there are any other options that this board would be open to. I will say, from what I've heard from legislators, there's not an appetite to change the equal split. I know that there was a lot of work that went in across the region to get this here, and that was a lot of the reason that it happened, that it took all 14 localities to do that. But since we wanted to, as a commission, we don't have any elected representatives on the commission. We're all pretty much all county administrators on that, and we're looking out always the best interest of the localities. But with something like this that might end up going to Richmond anyway, one way or the other, we felt that it'd be important to bring it to the individual boards to discuss.
So that would be saying that,
I think it's roughly 27%-ish that they would give.
Yeah, and just looking at it for like 26, the other localities, if we divide that by 13, right, that was the number of shares that were left.
Right.
That would be $68,000, right, per locality.
No, so they don't have, so the total amount, so that would be what each locality would get.
Oh, okay.
That 730, well, next year their estimate would be the 888, 942.
Okay, so that's not the total amount.
Instead of, if we kept it the same, I would estimate we're gonna be right close to $1 million if we keep it the same right now.
This year was 941.
Yes, we'll probably could be just short of $1 million, but it will climb with projections, looking the way they are.
Bristol already gets an extra number.
So they don't get extra on this agreement, so it's all split equally. What they do get is, of course, their meals tax, lodging tax, any property tax, any other revenue that's coming through with visitors to the casino. So yes, I mean, with it being in their backyard, they may have extra expenses, but they also get extra revenues that we don't.
I mean, if this goes through though, this still has to go to the Virginia Assembly, right? This has to be a.
Correct. So there is a letter that the commission has voted on but has delayed sending, basically thanking Richmond for the way the split is, and that we are not in favor of changing that split, that we would love to that to remain equal. So that is ready to be sent at our next meeting, which is next Wednesday, and barring any changes or any voted changes.
Would you say that that's unanimous among the 14, excluding Bristol?
I don't know.
Russell County turned it down.
I would, out of the sentiment that's been given at the prior meetings, they don't have the votes to change it. I don't know that it would be unanimous. I can't speak for everybody yet. I haven't talked to everybody, but I don't see this passing. No.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, if they knew they were going to have extra expense, and you can look at other localities that did this and know that you're going to have extra expenses. They should have asked for that up front. But I'm guessing they thought they could fund all of that out of the increased property tax and lodging tax and meal tax, and also their landfill issue is as mean as it is to say, it's not our issue.
Didn't they get state funding to assist with that?
They have gotten I think right around $30 million from the state on their landfill. Yes.
Yeah, they're just going to have to eat us.
All the localities are struggling, with funds. Everybody has issues unique to them. So,
yeah, I can't see, robbing our taxpayers that have to, still have connections with all this, that extra money. So, yeah. So do you need a board action from us saying that?
I would like to request a board action to take back to the commission meeting to show this board's feelings on the matter. Yes.
All right, then do
I make the motion that we do not change the funding formula.
And I'll second that.
All right, everybody in favor, vote by way of saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you all.
You got your mandate.
Yes.
All right. Moving on to bookkeeping items. Ms. Biggers, what we got?
Now please appropriate $19,165 to volunteer fire department state paid ATL 1,32200-405624 for fire program monies received and deposited at the treasurer's office, in addition to the $78,843 previously appropriated in the FY26 budget, and appropriate $2,426.60 to Sheriff's Department payroll other 1,3100-401108 and $185.64 to FICA 402100 for a reimbursement received and deposited at the treasurer's office. And that's all of the appropriations.
Do I have a motion to proceed with these appropriations?
So moved.
Do I have a second? That was Ms. Addington moving and Mr. Jeter seconding. Everybody vote by way of saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
And please accept the Sheriff's Office, Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services School Resource Officer Continuation Grant 544221-5FY26. Grant award number 26-211-D totaling $261,996. And if accepted, appropriate per grant award amounts in the already established budget Department Code 31220. And accept Sheriff's Office, Virginia DCJS SRO New Positions Grant 554806 CY26 Grant Award Number 558391 totaling $374,173. And if accepted, appropriate per grant award amounts in the already established budget Department Code 31220. And accept Sheriff's Office, Virginia DCJS SRO New Positions Grant Number 554806 CY26. Grant Award 558992 totaling $453,934. And if accepted, appropriate per grant award amounts in the already established budget Department Code 31220. That's all the grants.
Do I have a motion to accept all these grants?
Are those any matching funds from us? Do you all know?
No, not that I know of.
They're straight grants? This is for the school resource officers positions.
Those are, from what I understand, are like annual, like grants. Don't they get those every year?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, help fund those positions, yeah.
All right, so moved. I'll make a motion that we accept the grant.
Do I have a second? All right, Ms. Addington making the motion and Mr. Jeter seconding. All in favor, vote by way of saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
And the school board pays for those SRO.
That's right. I knew they were matching something else. Okay.
All right, on to appointments. Do we have anyone for the CPMT?
Yes, you have one applicant, that April Hutchinson has applied.
All right. This is the private provider representative, so this actually has to be someone in the medical field or in the
Private provider dealing with children.
private provider dealing with children. Sorry. I'll get my terms right. So there's only a small number of people in the region that can do this kind of, or be in this kind of position. So with that being said, we'll nominate, what's her name again?
April Hutchinson.
April Hutchinson. Sorry, I should have had it pulled up. For the position.
I'll make a motion nomination cease and we vote by acclamation.
All right, I'll second that. All in favor, vote by way of saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
Okay, you have one appointment for the Building Code Appeals Board. Jeff Kegley has been serving and he did reapply. He is your only applicant.
I will nominate Jeff Kegley for the Building Code Appeals Board.
I'll make the motion to let that nomination cease and we vote by acclamation.
All right, I'll second that. And everybody vote by way of saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. Kegley will serve. And then the Southwest Virginia EMS Council.
Yes, you have one applicant, Wendell Burke.
Excellent. All right.
I'll make the nomination for Wendell Burke.
Okay, that's good. And I'll make the motion that nomination cease and we vote by acclamation.
I'll second that.
Everybody vote by way of saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Burke will serve on that. All right. Moving on. County Attorney's Report.
Good job. Just then. I'm getting the hang of it.
Yeah, you know what? 2.5 years on, 2 years, I don't know, it feels like 10. On the job I'm getting. Thank you.
I don't have anything today.
Okay,
Happy to answer any questions.
all right, thank you. County Administrator Report, Mr. Wilson.
Yes, general fund balance, $18,512,375.20. We have early set claims for the month, $1,089,680.01. And total claims for the month, $2,306,226.69. Mr. Chairman, I'd ask for a motion to pay the bills.
Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Mr. Jeter moves. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Danny seconds. Mr. Castile, I'm sorry. Second. Everybody vote by way of saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. We'll pay the bills.
I don't really have anything else, Mr. Chairman, that we've kind of covered in other sections of the agenda. I will just say that I will be traveling up to Richmond for the Tobacco Commission meeting Monday, and then also back to Richmond with a few of you all at the end of the month for legislative reception and also Tourism Day on the Hill. So good stuff coming up in the month of January, and hopefully we can get some stuff done.
Do we have a final list of everyone that's attended this year?
I was going to ask Miss Addington, are you planning on? No?
I'm not able to go this year.
Okay. So if is there anyone else? I know Mr. Manus is planning on joining.
If y'all have any concerns that you want me to bring up while I'm up there, we can go, you know, most of y'all have been, right? Michelle, you have?
I've not gone yet.
You've not got to go yet, man. We visit a ton of agencies. I think the last time we visited, you know, everybody from housing to tourism to economic development. So if y'all have any concerns or any ideas, we also meet with VDOT, Ms. Tyson here. And every year we do ask for more money and more consideration for our dirt roads. But if y'all have anything that you'd like me to bring up, please feel free to email me a list. I'll do my best to bring them up.
You're gonna bring up all the cancer, all of them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll go ahead.
Make sure all of those folks know. I don't care if they are from VDOT, they need to know.
Okay. Thank you for the reminder, Stephanie.
Tourism,
Sorry.
all those folks.
Were you going to cover anything on the budget report, the blue sheets? I couldn't remember. I just looked through some. I just had some questions, if you don't mind. I'll go ahead and go through those. This is the blue sheet, the budget report year to date. Delinquent property taxes. The budget's $140,000. The year-to-date accrual is $4,786,000. So that tells me that the treasurer is collecting. Is that basically your understanding?
Yes.
I think we only thought we'd get 140, so we're already at 4 million.
He's been working diligently to collect, yes.
Very proud of him on that.
On the other hand, of course, we know there's been delays with personal property taxes, but the budget was $3,042,000. Year to date, it's about 1.5 or 15. 1.5 million. It's about half. So you think we're on target with?
I think once there's going to be some supplementals and stuff in the mail, we'll start seeing those come through. Hopefully towards the middle end of this month and on through. So I've spoken with Ms. Tiller and Mr. Helms, and we're hopeful that we'll hit our projection.
Interest on bank deposits, the budget was $750,000. Year to date, it's $168,000. Is that because of the property tax just now coming in, and that'll be a larger number going forward? Is that kind of what that means? We mentioned SROs earlier. Reimbursed SRO in the available budget. The budget is $943,000. Year to date, it's zero accrual. Is that paid at the end of the year, or?
No, the school board reimburses us, like, I think it's twice a year. So it's probably one coming in.
Yeah,
Again, it's the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office invoices them.
And similar, I guess, with Pearson, the budget's $2.2 million. And we haven't received any payments yet.
We won't receive that till the end of the year.
Right, end of the year. I know we discussed unappropriated surplus, and I can't remember what that was, but we had 1.5 million in our budget, but at this point it's zero. Do you recall? Do you know?
I guess
I just like discussed. I don't remember that discussion.
But it's 1.5 million's been budgeted for that. But we're at zero. Currently at zero. Unappropriated surplus.
I've got the old.
I can follow up on that.
I've got a spreadsheet here. Let me look real quick. You go on and we'll come
That's
back to
all I
that. Oh, when?
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Wilson. And Stephanie, if you wouldn't mind sharing that when you
I will.
find it. I'll move on. Let's see, county, the department report, Mr. Dishman is not going to be here this month, but he has assured me that once this report comes out from the BDH, that he will come in. So we'll expect to see him in February. On to Board of Supervisors comments, requests, and recommendations. One thing I did want to have a broader discussion on is the trailer for the firewood ministry. And I wanted to wait until we got some solid numbers on what was in our contingency fund. We have available $40,386.81 in our contingency fund. Looking at the options that Kevin has given us, Mr. Barnett has given us, the prices range anywhere from $5,200 to $6,500, with $5,700 being right in the middle. Do we want to help on this, or do we want to provide this? How do we want to go about that? Or do anything, I guess, is the question. There's no doubt that they're doing a wonderful job in helping a lot of families in our area. But how do we want to help out as well?
I think we should buy them a trailer.
Okay.
I agree. I mean, because right now, and we're getting ready to hit the coldest part of winter.
Yeah.
I mean, they need it now so that they can help.
Buy Dallas Supervisors contingency fund.
Okay. How much do you given the range of prices, do we want to hit middle of the road? Do we want to give them the best? What's your opinion there?
I think what our procurement policy says is we take 3 bids.
Okay.
We still have to follow that with this as well, because it's under, well, it's 5,000, it's a little over $5,000.
I think we would be giving the money to the Ministry Association.
You need 2 for 5 to 10,000.
And he provided the green. Do we have to take the?
Or are you just giving him the donation?
Oh.
It's not-
Yeah, so that's why I was
Well,
going
they
to
buy
say.
the trailer.
Yeah, we're not
Not gonna be
buying-
owned by-
we're going to stay out of the procurement process. They know what they
Sorry,
need the
that's
best.
where I was going. My
Yeah.
mind went to procurement.
Yeah, if we have them go through the procurement process, they might get it by next Christmas. I'd much rather
Sorry.
just give them the donation to let them.
Let's do that.
Like that trailer, is it for y'all's use only, or how's that gonna be?
It'll be for the ministry, for the firewood ministry, for their use.
We use it at all for the Ministers Association needs, like if we don't ever need a trailer or anything like that, or.
I mean, it's possible, I'd say.
We could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we give y'all broad enough to where, you're not got a trailer sitting around and say, oh, we can't use that because we got to haul these 2 pallets of, food. So I want to make sure.
You're good.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'd be used for the Ministry Association. They can have a food bank and they provide firewood. Lord knows what else y'all do.
How much
A lot
time you got?
a lot of prayers for the county, I'm sure, too.
Absolutely.
Does anybody have an amount in mind?
What is the difference in the trailers, a whole lot of difference?
Mostly the amount of material you can haul. The larger trailers, you can haul more material, and is basically the difference. The weight on the trucks that we have will handle all 3 of them. That's why we went with that.
Yeah,
So go with the middle one.
Go with the middle one.
Can I suggest something? When you go buy a trailer, with that wood being as heavy as it is, I advise you to check to make sure they got brakes on every axle instead of one. I know Houston, I don't know if they changed the law and you have to have brakes. I know Houston, a lot of them had 1-wheel brake. And if it gets it up on a high spot where the other one's got more weight and the one ain't got the weight on it, it'll scoot it, and then when it does on a downhill slide, you're jackknife.
Yeah, looking at this description on the one in the middle, it says two 3500 Dexter Easy Loop brake axles, so I would assume that brakes are on. Yeah. All right, so you want to round it up to 5,800 since it's 5,795? You feel?
You guys are doing it, so wherever you are.
All right, so do I hear a motion to appropriate $5,800 to the Scott County Ministers Association for a dump trailer for their firewood ministry and any other incidental uses they may have in the ministry? Did I hear a motion? Out of board contingency. Out of board contingency, that was the words I was looking for. I knew I forgot something. Out of board contingency.
So moved.
All right. Ms. Addington moves. Do I have a second?
No second.
Mr. Jeter seconds. All right. 5,800. We'll cut you a check.
Need to vote.
Go for it.
Oh, sorry. Everybody vote by way of saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Sorry. You were just bragging.
You were doing so good.
I know.
That's what happened.
All right. You can't find it. We'll have to we'll look into what that is, and I would like to know as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, last year it was 800,000.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
Yeah, a whole year ago.
Yes.
Almost. But yeah, we'll figure that out.
It's under recovered cost, if that helps. I don't know.
That's something that I'd like to bring up.
Yes, sir.
I think it's last month, we was talking about Dennis Begley, about the flood, about his house. Has anybody had any kind of response or anything on that? Did you hear, John?
I haven't heard anything. That was one of the properties that was submitted for funds through the governor's program for relief from the storms. And Leno Wisco had worked on that. It's my understanding everything got sent in and submitted. We're just waiting. I know from the meetings that I had back several months ago, they were looking to obviously get those paid out before Governor Youngkin left office. So I would imagine there'll be something coming here soon.
Mr. Castell, have you spoken to Foot?
I'd say 3 weeks ago or something. Sometime since the last meeting, just right after it, I'll say 3 or 4 days or something, yeah. And he showed me a picture of something that he said what stopped the tile up.
Right.
And what it is, it's a piece of timber that the state department, he said, put in there. And I guess they cribbed it because they had to use it somehow to get up beside the railroad. I don't know, I wasn't there. So. And they left the timber in the tile to keep it from crushing, I guess, because they couldn't get enough dirt over it. Yeah. And he said that was the debris got in there and stopped it up. And he sent me a picture of a piece of wood still in it.
Yeah, I think that's two separate things. The application put in to Leno Wisco's about his house
Yeah.
and his property,
Yeah.
and some funding to help him out of that situation. The tile in VDOT, that wouldn't be this particular situation.
No, he said that's what stopped up and flooded his house. He's just showing me what it was. Yeah, it's two different things.
Eddie, did you have anything else for?
Well, I did, going back to citizens' expression, Ms. Power's comments on the audit. And I did go back and look at the audit report. It goes back to April 3rd, 2025, from Scott Wickham with Robinson Farmer and Cox. And it's for the fiscal year 2024 audit, I think. And there was 4 material weakness findings in the report and 1 material noncompliance finding. Has there been any action taken with that?
I think all those were related to the school system.
He presented it to our Board of Supervisors. Is there any action that we need to take on those?
As far as the county departments go, I believe, and you know, anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there was anything on our end. I think everything was good.
She also mentioned the ledger, failed to provide a ledger for about 3 years, but that also just applied to the school system. Wouldn't it be anything on our end that?
I believe if it had anything to do with like the reconciliations, that would be out of the treasurer's office.
Now, she mentioned that that was due like next week on the...
I know they've been working diligently to
reconcile the bank records.
Correct, get caught up.
And yeah, to be fair, from my understanding, both the Treasury and the Commissioner's Department were kind of under the gun as soon as they got in. And there were some things that slipped, and there were
one recommendation they made was the school system should not do prepayments of goods. And I was just curious on the amount that's being prepaid at the end of the fiscal year to flow into the next year.
You'll have to ask the school board that.
Yeah, I'm sure Mr.
Are
Burns.
we doing all their accounting for them
No.
No.
as far as paying the bills?
I mean, it filters through, but they do all their
We
accounting and stuff.
We wouldn't know if they've received that or not.
No, we wouldn't know that.
We wouldn't know if they're
prepaid.
They're responsible for their.
I know they were doing prepayments. Actually, going back to Lee County, I don't know if this is the same thing, but they were considering returning those funds, excess funds, to the state. They had to make a decision, their Board of Supervisors, on whether to send their surplus funds back to the state or do a rollover into the next year. Would that be similar to what this is, or
What, the unappropriated?
You're talking
unappropriated
about
funds?
through the school system?
Yeah, they, unappropriated funds, they had to make a decision, Lee County Board of Supervisors, whether to send those funds, unused funds, back to the state or to roll it over into the next year's budget. Is that like a prepayment? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
That's not for goods.
It's not for goods. But I guess they'll be, the auditor will be getting back to the school system on these recommendations, and that's nothing we need to be concerned about.
They already have them. I mean, that was from the last fiscal year, fiscal year 24.
I'll just go through some of my usual stuff, if that's okay. Most of you probably know Alan Hicks passed away, and he was a great loss and did a lot for our community with the Crooked Road Music Trail, he and his family. And not sure yet, I haven't talked to anyone about the future of that location there in Nicholsville. But I just wanted to mention the fact that they made a big contribution to our county. Governor Youngkin had announced at the completion of spring of 26, the Cumberland Outdoor Access Legacy, COAL. That's the largest public land easement acquisition in Virginia history. It's 65,000 acres in Wise, Dickinson, Russell, and Buchanan. And it will be for the benefit of conservation, outdoor enthusiasts. And it also gives the Spearhead Trails a more permanent agreement on their trail system. And they actually expanded a new trail, opened on Christmas Day in Tazewell County. That was the Laurel Creek Trail. And this is just a small part of the larger 253,000 acre Cumberland Forest project for eastern Kentucky, East Tennessee, and southwest Virginia. So there's probably more things to come as far as outdoor recreation. Social services, the PIP program, I just wanted to touch base on that again since people are concerned about electric bills. I did speak with the social services representative, Rebecca Lamb. And if there's anyone interested in that program, they can go by and pick application up at social services here in this building. She said there has been an influx of interest during the past month, and people must reapply annually. It doesn't roll over each year, so they have to reapply. The electric bills must be in the applicant's name based upon household income and household size, and they can lock in their electric bills at 6% or 10% of their household income if they qualify. The VDOT, I spoke with Mr. Sumter about updates. They continue to pave Eaton Hill, so they're going to be wrapping that up. Continue to place gravel as needed, and the focus is on potholes. I got a call from the pastor of Pleasant View Church on Highway 71 in Nicholsville. They paved that Pleasant View Lane this summer, but going into the church parking lot, they didn't smooth that out, so they were having some trouble with low-profile cars dragging. But once I notified him, the pastor contacted me. Within a couple of days, they were out there and got it fixed. So thanks to VDOT for that. Fraley Town Road Bridge Project, I asked him about that, and it is going to be advertised in June of 26. The VACO breakout, I read back through some of the things. Were you in the transportation? I noticed that 1% sales tax was being used by one of the counties.
Several counties that do that, northern and central Virginia, yes, to build up an account to put towards like smart scale projects.
Is that an option for any county, or?
Yeah, it's my understanding any county could do that if, yeah, we wanted to. I know they had mentioned, you know, I don't know how far off into the future that may be, but the comment was made that eventually there may be like some match requirements to get a project through smart scale. Right now, there's not. Obviously, if there is matching funds, I think it scores a little better, but we could still get a project through with no contribution from the county. But that's kind of where these localities are trying to, I guess, get a leg up or get ahead of the curve. They stash away some funds for projects like that.
That brings me back to, as I recall, VDOT does have a program for a 50-50 match on paving. And if you don't mind, when you're in Richmond, to kind of pursue that along with this sales tax thing. But that may, the rate that we're going now, we may need to get more involved. And something I can say, we talked about the casino funds, maybe earmarking some of that money for road improvements on the 50-50 share with VDOT.
You can't use casino money for road improvements.
Yeah, it has to be for safety and
Well,
schools, right?
there's transportation.
Transportation?
But I thought it
Public
was.
safety, education, and transportation are the three categories.
Is that considered?
Let's make sure in any case that we can.
Yeah, I believe that
I'd like to.
that would be an option that I think could be a wise choice, you know, to start putting some funds away for projects. But, you know, it would take a while to build up. I mean, as you know, any road projects tend to be.
And once you reach a good balance, you basically start checking off the ones on the top of the list and move everything down from that point. Okay.
I mean, we gotta do something with these roads because, I mean, 250 miles of dirt roads and the pace we're going, it'd be 300 or 400 years before they all got paid for no more money than they're giving us to and the expense goes up every year on it. So I mean, it's less that we're getting done for the money, because inflation eats the money up
Yeah. from
year to year.
Yeah, I think I did the math on it one time, and it was like 70 years at the current rate, not giving any inflation. I'd say 300 or 400 years is probably.
And we're right at 500 years based on this last year.
Yeah.
400,000.
Anyways.
One other pot of money possibly is the March reconciliation of the student school system. You know, we did this year to kind of beef up our EMS discussion. But it's going to be, we need to look at that each March. Right now, I think based on the original projections, there's possibly 600 more students than we actually have. So that could be a good pot of money. And that would be something to look at, I think, in March. Maybe roads might be one way that if we get into this matching, 50-50 with VDOT, that might be something that we could redirect some of that money.
I mean, we also have to pay for Cove Creek too, if we want to do
Yep,
that, so
yep.
I mean, we're in no shortage of cases to use funds.
I talked to you about the Dollar General down in Duffield. I thought it might be a good time to touch back with them. And they have most of you are familiar, they have a market within some of their stores. It's expanded produce and meats. And I spoke with the regional manager through a text yesterday, and he said they had passed it up the line to their upper management. And in his words, he said it's a huge opportunity for that area. So they hopefully will have a look at that.
Now, all they need to do is look at their customer count. I've tried to get a lot of grocery stores interested in it, but so far Dollar General is the most promising out of them.
The last thing I had was the trash issue that we talked about earlier. Gotten several calls from throughout the county, not just in my area. And we discussed it. Would you like to share some of our discussion?
I can jump in. I will turn it over though to Mr. Dingus to kind of give an overview, and then I'll fill in the blanks. I did, Mr. Skeen and I had a good conversation kind of addressing some of the concerns he had, and I passed those on to Mr. Dingus, and I'll kind of let him run through and then maybe fill in any gaps.
Yeah, I don't have that list in front of me, but I'll talk, in general. I think one of the issues was the trash coming off of trucks. And these reports that, like the one on Facebook, that was December 26th. That is the busiest day of the year. The bins get heaped up before the trucks can get there. That day, our Packer trucks visited many of the sites twice, and they still filled up by the end of the day. So when they're trying to dump the truck or the dumpster into the truck, if it's heaped up or it's going to fall off, if it's shook any at all, it's hard to hit the hopper. We do have extended posts that they can reach to the top of the truck and get a lot of that. We took the ladders off the truck until we can get some training, which hopefully that's going to happen this January with a harness and a safety harness to go up on an elevated ladder. I had a complaint, one of the previous employees had complained to OSHA about the ladders. The ladders been on those Packer trucks for 30, 40 years, or how long we've been running Packer trucks. But he complained, OSHA said they need a harness to be up there. So I told the guys, don't be up there. Don't use the ladders. A couple of weeks, or within the next week, a couple of weeks, I saw that particular employee on top of one of the Packer trucks, one of the cameras, so I removed the ladders so that can't happen. And been working with Baycor, our insurance provider, to provide training and get the harnesses for them so they can get up there. That particular day, the driver at Antioch was dumping full dumpsters, and a couple of bags went on top. He noticed his pole wasn't in there. I talked to the supervisor at the transfer station about it, and he said, yeah, that's my fault. They went up, fueled up to get ready for the day and set the pole out and forgot to get it back in. So when he got back to the transfer station, he got the pole. Just keep in mind, we moved thousands upon thousands of bags of trash that day. And we're talking about one that fell off a truck. So, you know, the concept that trash is going to come off a packer truck from time to time, that's inevitable. We're running across this county to 14 sites 6 days a week. That's going to happen sometimes. That the litter along the road is mostly contributed by that? No. You know, go past Nicholsville, from Nicholsville to the Russell County line where our trucks don't run, you have litter. Go to Duffield up 58 onto the Lee County line, you have litter. Our trucks don't run that road. I can name several roads, unfortunately, that our trucks don't run that you still have the litter problem. You know, I think another issue was the Tennessee cars coming into the sites. You know, we have been cut in half on our workforce for the attendance on the solid waste centers. So we have 24 hours per site per week that I can have someone there manning the site. They're open. 12 of them are open from Monday morning 8 a.m. 24 hours to Saturday 8 p.m. 2 of them close every day, but they're open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I've looked at the counting. You know, we have the cameras that are counting cars, taking tags, and looked at the 5 sites, and there's 40,000 hits in the last month, 30 days, of just people coming into those sites. So to look at each one of those tags, find the Tennessee tag, is a surmountable ordeal. What we've used that for, what our litter control officer used it for, is people who have come in and illegal dumped or created some situation where it's obvious. So, you know, they've dumped it on the ground, or we get a report of a commercial vehicle in, we go to the camera, look, find that, he does an investigation. It all takes time. But the only way to curb the Tennessee coming in is the attendant being there when the sites are open. And, you know, a lot of that seems to have fallen on our litter control officer, but the tools are in place for law enforcement, but that's not necessarily his role. That could be any deputy in the sheriff's office could take on that Class 3 misdemeanor and spend time to stop it, if that's what we want our law enforcement to do. Because a person from Tennessee going into a solid waste center and throwing a bag of trash into a dumpster isn't litter. You know, and that would be a hard case to get a judge to convict that they went in there and threw a bag of trash in a center. So, you know, it's not as simple as looking at a camera and seeing a tag, because there's thousands of them. There's not thousands of Tennessee tags, but just thousands every day that you have to filter through to find that. So the only way to curb that, or the best way to get a handle on it, is to have the sites manned when they're open. Now you have 24 hours budgeted, so you can only have them open 3 days a week, 24 hours, each of the sites, and have them manned when they're open. Or you can increase the budget to be able to man. But you're still gonna have a reduction in hours. So you're talking about a lot of hours that they're open. And it's all about convenience that you've tried to, and that's what the solid waste centers are. They're a convenience center. You know, we could save the county $1.5 million today if everybody had to take their trash to the transfer station or hire one of the companies to do their household pickup. So the centers are all about convenience, and that the amount of convenience that we're providing, it's inevitable that you're going to have the sites fill up before a truck can get back to them, and the gates are going to have to close, and people's going to have to deal with that. It's inevitable that you're going to have people come in that you may not necessarily think ought to be using that site.
Bill, with the camera system, does it just provide you with a tag number and that person came in there, and then you all have to look up that tag number and see if it's a Virginia or Tennessee?
Right, and you have to be a law enforcement officer to look up that tag number to find out who that is.
So the camera, might be able to answer, the cameras don't recognize a Virginia versus a Tennessee tag. It can do color of vehicle, it can do, you know, a lot of things, but it doesn't, there's not a filter.
There's not a filter
to do that. So, but what, you know, a person could do, I mean, it would take a lot of time, time that nobody really has to spend on it, but you could watch through a day's worth on one of the sites, and you know, you could easily pick out a Tennessee tag if you watch them through and write down those tag numbers. And then we do log in the ones that come in and get a permit, Tennessee residents that get a permit to dump trash, and then you can run that against that and see if that car paid or not.
Well, what's the maximum you think you all could review? Like, and I'm just trying to, like, you know, if somebody had 10 or 15 minutes to sit down and review, how many do you think they could review in a week? Is it 100?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, you could review a lot. If you had, you know, the guy at the transfer station looking at it and reviewing one of the sites, like East Carter's Valley, he could get some tags and put it in the system, see if they got a permit or not, and provide law enforcement that list of tags that come into that site. Then what law enforcement would do with that, you're talking about the class 3 misdemeanor, and being in Tennessee. So maybe send them a letter.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I had a path I was going down here. So yeah, so if we could get, you know, 15 to 30 minutes just to review a sample load, not every single one. You know, 40,000 a month is a lot. That's 10,000 a week. You know, maybe if they could just pick out 50 random ones. And if you already have the tag numbers for the Tennessee folks that do have permits, you can eliminate those from the list. And you know, you might not find any in that 50, or you might find a bunch if you're going for some of these sites that are more active. And I think if you set, you know, just a small goal like that, just to review a few a week, you know, 50 to 100, I think that would provide enough fear to folks eventually if they started getting letters.
You had looked at East Carter's Valley. What period was that you had took a glance at?
Last 30 days.
Yeah. And how many Tennessee?
About 10%. Yeah.
And you didn't run that against the permits.
No,
so we don't
yet.
know. I mean,
I've got some.
Most of those could have paid. We don't know, but yeah, 10% was Tennessee.
Yeah, and I mean, if we could, you know, review 50 and send out 5 letters a week, I think that would be. I think that would go a long way in to kind of saying, you know, Scott County's clamping down on this.
Yeah, I can
and you
find the tags, but I can't get their information. I can't send those tags to DMV and say, give me the addresses of these people. That has to be law enforcement.
Of course. But I'm just talking about you or your team positively identifying
5 tags a week and sending them on to law enforcement.
Yeah.
That, if we could do that, I think that would go a long way. Now, whether or not law enforcement would pick that up or not, that is up to them, but let us be the hammer on that one, and we'll try to push them to do that, if this is a real problem. And 10% sounds like a real problem to me. I don't know.
Go ahead, Danny. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
The people over there, I know a lot of them. I was raised over there with that. And one day I was there with trash cans myself. And he took and he told me, he said, Danny, if you want to catch the Tennessee cars, he said, come over there on Saturday mornings. Now, I don't believe this, but this is what he told. He said he hit about half of the cars was from Tennessee on Saturday mornings. Now, that, I can't hardly believe that, but a man lives over there. He's told me, I've got several calls in the last week of people over there, and talking about the trash, and the ones coming up through there from Tennessee. And I could say, if you want to catch them, go sit in a little building on Saturday mornings. And it would take too smart of a man to step out from the door, and you done got him. You don't need the camera, you done got him. And you know how everybody takes their trash off on Saturdays. So I mean, if you caught 5 on a Saturday, and if it's as many as they tell me, it wouldn't be no problem to catch 5. And I think if you of them get caught, fine them, whatever you can do to them, I think it would slow it down. And that's what I hear about that over there. Now, I see it for Blackmore, Trico, Lynchport. I've caught them as many as 3 in 1 week in the trash. I ain't been looking for none. I ain't seen none in several months, you know what I'm saying? But Eddie can admit to this one. Me and him was in Lynchport one night, 11 o'clock, wasn't we, Eddie? A woman got out of the vehicle at 11 o'clock at night, and she was down in the trash can before we hit the highway and got her speed up. Is that true, Eddie? Now, I've seen them with a clothes hanger, duct tape, and they take a rock, and they reach over till they extend it and pull it out, and they go after the mail. Dig through it. This one's a real smart character. He's got a pickup, he's got a trailer. He has one of them loaded, okay? I'd say the trash that he's done went through, when you come up there, he starts throwing that now. The other one, he's going through it and putting it in. So it makes himself look like that he is. And we've all seen him at it. In Dungannon and Fort Blackmore. I can even tell you the color of the vehicle. And, but I'm not gonna tell it here. And I've told it to Jeff Eads. I've told it to J.C. Starnes. I've told it to deputies. And they don't seem like nobody wants to catch them. And I quit talking. I quit looking. I'm not gonna play the deputy's job, the sheriff's job. And if nobody wants to do nothing, I quit talking about it to the day, and that was over a year ago when I'd catch them at it.
Mr. Castile, I'll go back to the problem. That site shouldn't have been open at 11 p.m. and it should have been open without a tenant there. That's not going to happen with a tenant on site.
they never closed after 11 o'clock at night.
It's open 24/7 from
Yeah.
That'd be the way to
Monday morning to 6 or
Stop
Saturday.
it. They'll throw it over the bank.
That happened, it wasn't this board.
Huh?
The opening happened on a board one, but not this board, but previous board wanted them more, open more, because people were complaining about them being closed.
Right.
And the problems are inevitable. It's convenient. You know, most of the time, you know, December 26th is different. The week after the holidays, we're just now, it's like a flood. You know, river floods and your road floods and you can't use that road. You know, you gotta change your behavior a little bit. So it's starting to slow back down. Most days, it flows like the river flows. There's no issues going along as far as moving the trash through. Now, the Tennessee people coming over and using the sites, the scavenging within the sites, and other things are happening when the tenants aren't there and can counter it. You know, and you know, you might have a citizen call that you were in there, they were in there, and they saw the Tennessee tag come in, the tenant didn't say anything, and they left. But, you know, people use the same waste site frequently, and if, you know, if I'm in there and I check that person's tag and I know them, and I know they got a permit, I may not go out and check it every time they're in. So, you know, that is the issue.
Well, I'll
is
tell you,
again,
Cash, put a camera there, put a deputy, like dispatch or something, or take and put a camera on everyone, sat there with the monitor, watching them 24 hours a day. If they come in there, stealing trash, throwing it all over, you got them. You can get rid of all the people there and have 4 people watching it 8 hours a day, each one of them. And so it take 3 for 3 shifts and have them spare for the weekends and rotate them. Now, that's the only way I see to solve it, and I know they're gonna say that's gonna solve it.
Where is your monitor? It monitors the sites. Where can you view it?
Oh, we have it on the computer.
Yeah,
It's here in the office.
Yeah, well, it's like an access, yeah.
Pardon?
We have access through all.
Who all can see it remotely from?
We can see it, transfer station can see it, their control officers can see it, and I think the sheriff's office can view it.
Access to it.
Well, are they watching them now on a frequent basis? You know, when they're like the transfer station, if he's there waiting.
Yeah, they'll have it up.
If he's
You
in
know,
between
they
people.
use it for more than just that. They'll use it to see if they, we have 14 sites. We only have 5 of them that have this. They'll use it for all types of purposes. If it's roll-off needs to be pulled or things like that. Yeah, I mean, they can.
But there's not I would venture to say nobody's watching it, you know, full time.
Yeah.
Could you put like a week's emphasis on it just to test to see what kind of results you got? Put
Yeah, I
heavy
mean, I can
emphasis
talk
on
to
it.
the guys at the transfer station and have them, and they have been doing that. We've written down tags from the transfer station and put in a photo for litter control. He's checked on some of them. Some of them have tags or permits. But, you know, you're still talking about class 3 misdemeanor in somebody in Tennessee.
Well, speaking of that, we do have an option, I think, with an ordinance to escalate that fine. It might be a class 3, but the fine could go up. And I think we have to, Ms. Kegley, do you have an idea on the ordinance? Do we have that authority?
$500 is the maximum for a class 3.
I think some of the cities in the state have exceeded that. I think,
That may be
Stanton,
more of an
Virginia.
administrative fine and not criminal, right?
Yeah, and I'm not sure how that would work, and I don't know, the cities are different from counties too.
Could you check on that? I think we need to put a little more bite into the ticketing process, and so people will remember.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a ticket if it's a
Well,
civil fine, so
at least a
that's a
payment.
different administrative process, and I don't know.
What if, let's talk to Jeff Eads, and when his deputies are touring the area where they go, have that deputy go in that lot and sit around for an hour or so. And Stacy, he is the litter control, let him sit at them stations. And if a Tennessee car comes in, let him check them and give them a ticket. If like that, if word gets around, they'll pretty soon start paying tickets.
I'll tell you, Chief, that and going back on Mr. Dean, he'll tell me, Nancy, they won't come in. Even the ones stealing trash and stuff. He said, Danny, I can go to the house. And he said, the stuff will be there. Now you don't live a mile. He said, I can go to the house for 5 or 10 minutes. He said, I'll come back. And he said, you won't believe what they'll bring in and dump in. He said, you know that something was there and it's gone out. He said they drive by, they look for the vehicles. And he said, I come right back, and he said, you can't believe it. Now, and he sure checks the trash cans, he even checks me on a regular basis.
Stacy does go into East Coast Valley quite often.
And he's go to Yuma too. Yuma's bad.
Yeah, I know.
They come to my house and I see them. Truckloads, not a bagger to a trash. Everything they can pile on a truck.
I am not denying that Tennessee people are coming to the sites. No, I'm not in the least. I'm just trying to reiterate the best way to stop it is to have a man when they're open.
People, citizens are calling me complaining that they can't empty their trash because Tennessee's coming to keep them full.
Right.
I mean, even if the citizens would call with a tag number, you know, you could run that against the tag readers and the sites that you have.
And narrow it down to the time of day.
Yeah, and you know, if that, you know, if anyone, I would encourage you, if anyone is calling you with saying that Tennessee cars are there, tell them to get the tag number if they can safely and without confronting them, and just run it through the system, and then, you know.
It's very seldom that I take my trash out to the trash dump that there ain't a Tennessee car pulls in and empties theirs.
Yeah.
But I don't say that to them. It's not my job to get killed.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone should say anything to them, but.
Well, I want to, but I don't.
Yeah.
Well, how's it going with, once you get the information, you got a suspect, you've got the tag reader, you go through the process, how's that playing out? Are they convicting people, or are they just saying don't do it again, or?
I was going to get that information. I called Stacy yesterday, and we've got a quarterly report coming up next month that is going to try to get some information like that. I'll get that information, but typically that's a hard sell. First of all, if that deputy's in there, it's not illegal for that Tennessee car to come into the site. It's just against the ordinance for them to throw their bag of trash in the trash container. You know, I've been in law enforcement before. You take a case into a judge that somebody pulled into a trash site and threw a bag of trash in a dumpster, and that's all they did, and left.
Well,
You know, they're gonna say, don't bring it in the courtroom, is my opinion. But I'll get some information that we've tried to, like I said, most of the cases or something somebody's done beyond that they're scavenging. We have convicted scavenging. We have convicted illegal dumping inside the sites and things like that.
We can increase the penalty through an ordinance or whatever. Use those funds to reimburse the process to where we eliminate, add more people or more cameras, make it pay for itself. Make the people it's violating help us enforce it for future people. Now, back to the trash trucks and the stuff blowing out. Do you have anything on top of the trucks that seals that off when they're going down the road?
There's a cylinder that closes the door.
So anything that's blowing off will be outside that cylinder?
But yeah, unless something, unless, cylinders go bad, but that, that's something that's fixed. Another issue, and I guess we're all guilty of this somewhat, the trash going into a dumpster at those sites is supposed to be bagged. It's supposed to be in some sort of bag. And that a lot of times you can go look at one, people have thrown paper and stuff. So that aggravates that situation.
Bring the trash cans and turn it upside down.
Yeah.
No bags or nothing.
No bags or anything, yeah, it's hard to manage. I'll go back while I'm talking to you. I presented a plan before. The best way to mitigate just about everything that we're bringing up as issues is compactor sites, where you have a manned compactor site for the area. You may have to consolidate some solid waste centers, but have manned compactor sites where you have a compactor and have your recycling stuff done that is put into a compactor and hauled to the landfill, straight to landfill. Don't even have to go up to the transfer station.
Doesn't Lee County do something like that currently at some of their sites?
I don't know about Lee County. I know Russell County has a nice one on 19 compactor site. And Washington County, yeah.
I was told that Lee County is going to take and maybe put their trash on bids, that they don't have to buy their own trash trucks instead of the other company been hauling it to the thing. I think it's D&E.
You talking about hauling it to the landfill?
Yeah, to their transport station.
Yeah.
I hear that they're talking about putting it up for bids and getting rid of their trash trucks altogether.
Or you talking about all of it? Yeah, we explored that through Waste Management, and it was pretty expensive. They wouldn't do it the way we do it with the 14 sites and being open all the time.
They probably wouldn't put as much care into it either because they don't live here.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, we're doing it
the cheapest way it's going.
The cheapest and the most convenient way we can. But that brings about these issues that we're talking about.
Well,
it's hard to get a handle on, and they're going to happen from time to time.
Well, people don't understand. People lives in Tennessee, but they still own land in Virginia. And I mean, just because you see a Tennessee tag there, and he owns land in Virginia, you can't say he can't take his truck. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know how you would hold that.
Well, they get a permit, so the permitting process.
Yeah, they get a permit.
Yeah,
but the public don't know that.
What would the cost of a compactor cost? Roundabout. Just roundabout.
It's a number big enough to do some hard.
The compactor, the whole setup and everything, maybe $200,000 a site. And then consolidate some sites, which is going to be unpopular. But, I always say you're throwing your jug from your milk away, but where'd you have to go buy a jug of milk? You
do have to have an attendant.
Then you gotta have somebody to operate the compactor.
And then that would cut back with time-wise too, so it wouldn't be.
You have the manpower budgeted to be able to do these compactors. It would just be the investment of the compactor. And, you know, we've talked about before, like, let's do one site. The problem with that, you're still doing both. If you do one or two sites compactors, see how that goes, you're still having to do the solid waste, the packer trucks, until everything is turned over. So to me, and you know, I know I've talked this before, and I've got a plan written. I would definitely want to bring in an engineering consultant to look at that and get that cost and everything. But to me, an overall change up to compactor sites with the recycling there and everything available at that site, and even some more stuff would save a lot of these problems, and would be the most efficient, best way going forward. Can't say that your cost is going down. Cost seems to never go down, but it's a better system. It's a more modern system. You don't see a lot of what we do still out there.
All right, I did have one last question. Roadside litter, you know, we get those calls. What's the methodology used to determine where to pick up trash?
Well, we have two components. First of all, roadside litter is not necessarily the county's problem. It's VDOT right away. It's a VDOT problem. So, but the county does have two components that we can help with it. One is the Assign a Highway program that your litter control officer administers. And that's where somebody has gotten in trouble in the court, and this is part of their probation to be part of this. And Stacy assigns them a section of highway. Many times it has to be near where they live because they don't have a license or whatever. So they pick up that section of road. The other component we have is the Scott Services that does a lot of different things in the county. You know, they've been helping with the extension office move and stuff. But Justin can organize a pickup and pick up a stretch. You know, that's your two avenues there. Now, there's others that could be doing it. The state, VDOT could get the regional jail to take a crew out, or some things like that. And VDOT also has the Adopt a Highway program, where a citizens group, Rutan Club or Lions Club or whoever, can adopt a section of highway to pick up. You know, no, we have a problem with people throwing drink containers out between Nicholsville and the Bush Mill. It's ridiculous, but it doesn't take that to be but one or two people doing that every day for it to accumulate. And I know you get a call and we want Scott Service to go pick that up. But, you know, you got the Rutan Club at the bottom of that hill. That would be a great Adopt a Highway section for the Rutan Club. You know, I might be part of that. So there's, you know, citizens too can help with the situation. But at the end of the day, the litter along the road is not the county's responsibility. It's VDOT. Because it's their right of way, it's their roads. But we just have some things that we can help with it. Now, we do have a litter control officer that looks at illegal dumping, litter issues, does the Assign a Highway program, does educational things, which to me, that last component, if he had time to do more of that, would be the biggest beneficial thing going forward as far as litter along the highways. It's just educating people.
Sorry, to cut this conversation short, we'll have to noodle on this some more, but I believe you do have to leave at 12:45, and we do have some items to go into closed session about.
Mr. Chairman, I would just, one last thing, to clarify on what was brought up before, that unappropriated surplus, that each, I guess, fund has that line item that would be for what is used to balance the budget. So that's what that amount is. That's what, it's not necessarily, it's not a revenue, it's just basically where that number lies in the budget.
So it's basically a slot to move stuff in and out of.
Correct, that's what, you know, balances the budget. That's what would roll over from year to year or whatever, yeah.
So you're saying if we had any unappropriated funds from 25
Right.
going into 26?
Correct.
And we had those in the budget, or sorry, we budgeted for 10 million, and we only used 950,000.
That would roll into general fund.
Would be in that line.
Correct.
Okay, so it's not just something that things go in and out of. It's money that we budgeted the previous year, and it rolls over to the current.
Correct.
And to your point, it does balance.
Yes, right.
We have 2 items to go into closed session about today. Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Mr. Jeter will make that motion. Do I have a second? Danny will second. Sorry, Mr. Castile will second. So on a motion by Darrell Jeter, duly seconded by Danny Castile, this board hereby enters into closed session pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711 for A7 legal counsel for 2 pending cases involving county employee and former employee. Does everybody vote by way of saying aye? Aye. Opposed? All right, we'll have a short recess before we go back there. Let's say 10 minutes. Be in there at 5 after.